Hey Hobie, Courtney here. You're about to learn all about the overview of the 4 days of Hobie as a whole. Please keep in mind that um, the schedule that our friends are going off of is last year's schedule, and it could change a little bit. So the name of the game at Hobie is to be flexible and a little bit of alphabet soup. Um, Facilitator, tater, that's our adults over 21. A tater tot or an associate facilitator is 18 to 20. WLC means World Leadership Congress. It's basically Hobie on steroids. It's for 1 week in the summer after Hobie. So you'll be helping choose who goes to WLC from Central Pennsylvania. And I think that's it. So enjoy. It's a little long, so make sure you have a chunk of time to watch and learn all about what this wonderful weekend is about. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Tori Jacek and this is my dog Cola. We're going to walk you through Thursday's schedule at Hobie. So first things first, you wake up, you eat breakfast with the team, and then we have a facilitating team meeting. This is our last chance to talk about details for the rest of the day. You'll get a schedule at the seminar and you'll know exactly what to do if you follow this schedule, which I'm reading from last year's right now. So what you're going to do is after breakfast, you're going to decorate your table with your group flair. So whether it's hula theme, underwater, Legos, 90s cartoons, anything like that, you'll get it all ready and set up. And then the facilitating team will go hide in one half of the cafeteria wearing all of our flair, like cowboy hats, and we have blow-up alligators, whatever your group flair is. We'll hide until the ambassadors arrive in the cafeteria, and then once they all sit down, all the facilitators just have a field day and we get up, start cheering, and we go meet our groups. So when you go meet your group, it'll be lunchtime and it'll be at the table where you set up all your flair. And you'll want to have something ready like icebreakers or little games just to kind of get people engaged in learning about each other, because you will be spending the seminar with the same people throughout. So just make sure that everyone's on the same page and just kind of start learning about each other. So after lunch, we'll go back into our big meeting room where everybody has their assigned tables. You'll sit with your group throughout the rest of the seminar. And first, we'll listen to the recycling team talk about their plans for the weekend, and then we'll start personal leadership. That's phase one of our Hobie program. So during that presentation, we'll just start learning about how individuals can learn about their own skills and capabilities and what about them makes them a leader, so we can strengthen people on an individual basis. We'll have a keynote speaker who will talk more about personal leadership, doing their own speech, and then we'll go into a personal leadership activity. So throughout these few presentations, the first ones of Hobie, you will have paperwork that just kind of has all of your ambassadors' names on it, and you just go through and kind of circle, like, how is this person doing in this area, and how is this person engaging in this certain area. So we're trying to really get to know our ambassadors and gauge which ones really have the Hobie spirit. So we'll have appropriate times to hand in that paperwork. So just keep in mind to follow the schedule throughout the day so we know when to especially look for our ambassadors' leadership traits. So after that, we'll do some energizers, make sure people are still really engaged and enthusiastic, and energizers are otherwise known as cheers. So we'll just have a good time with that. Later, we'll have dinner and we'll do group photos. So, oh, this is my dog Cheese. Hi, Cheese. So we just have to make sure all of our ambassadors are on the same page with that. And, excuse me. Okay, so we'll start teaching people cheers, just have a good time. Then later we'll go into group leadership, which is individuals learning about how to use their skills to work in a group. And that's what Hobie's all about, is you have your group and it's how to grow and learn from that. So, keep an eye out for people who might be good at speaking at the Capitol in Harrisburg, because that will do on Friday. So make sure you realize who's engaged, who's really good at speaking in front of people. Leadership, we'll talk a lot about that the majority of Thursday afternoon, about this Capitol and what we'll expect the next day when we go there. We'll do more energizers later, and then what's really fun about this is group time. So group time is a time for you and your co-facilitator to spend time with your ambassadors doing whatever you want. Whether it's playing games or learning about each other, just sitting there talking, you can do anything with this time because it's your time to really bond with your group. And take advantage of it because it's the first one throughout the seminar, and it's the best chance for you to really gauge who you're working with and how you can help them get the best out of Hobie. Later there'll be bed checks, so just make sure that everyone is where they're supposed to be if you're assigned that task. and we'll go to a facilitating team meeting. So just be on time for that, and then that pretty much concludes the first day of Hobie. So just keep in mind, don't be nervous if you've never done it before. You made it this far and you wouldn't get accepted if we didn't think you could handle it. And if you've done it 1,000 times before, thanks for coming back. But good luck, and we'll introduce you to Friday soon.
Good morning, birds. Good morning, trees. Today is Capital Day. It's 5 a.m. at Shippensburg. I love Hobie. Hooray!
H-O-B-Y-H-O-B-Y.
What time is it? Oh, I don't got. Oh. Can I leave you? What? How do they have so much energy at 5 in the morning? Oh, I don't understand.
Hey Hobie, it's Sarah, and yes, 5 a.m. is the wake-up call Friday morning for Hobie, but you get to bring your very own bagged breakfast on the bus.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
And you'll have some time to take a quick nap as we travel to the PA state capitol in Harrisburg. Woo woo! It's an amazing, amazing experience, and we're hoping you're as excited as we are. So once we get to the state capitol, we'll be going through security, and then we'll arrive in the rotunda for a group Hobie photo. After that, we'll head into the House chamber to listen to a keynote address done by influential speakers who were involved in the state legislature. After that, around 10 o'clock, we'll be splitting up into our committee meetings. That way, we'll be assigned into different rooms, and you'll start working on your committee. This is an amazing opportunity to see how our state discusses, debates, amends, and agrees on bills based on committees like education and agriculture and veterans affairs. Now, once we're finished in our committee meetings, we'll separate into majority and minority caucuses. Here, we'll decide which bills we want to bring to the House floor based on all the different bills from the committee meetings. Then, it's time for lunch.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
After lunch, we'll once again return to the House chamber, where all those bills from the majority and minority caucuses that were passed are now going to be debated by you. And we have an amazing volunteer from the Capitol staff legislature who will be serving as our House Speaker. This is the time for Hobie ambassadors to stand up and speak their mind with facts and opinions to debate the different bills. To make sure that this process is as real as possible, the Speaker of the House, who works at the Capitol, will help us implement parliamentary procedure to make sure that everything we're saying and doing is simulated just like it would happen in a real House session. Now, after all of our amazing debating at the House, we will leave the state capitol and head back home for dinner.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
After dinner, we'll jump right back on into Phase 2, group leadership, with an incredible panel session. At 8 o'clock, we'll move right on into Phase 3, leadership for society. And then after that, drum roll, we have our dorm dash. You run back to your dorm, put some comfy clothes on, and head on over to the Hobie dance. After you tear it up on the dance floor, make some new friends, and eat tons of snacks, you'll have some group time, and then it's time for bed after a wonderful Friday at Hobie.
Hey Hobie, my name's Mitch. I will be going through Saturday part of your training video series. Saturday is an awesome day, guys. It's where the students get to go all to their volunteer and business offsites. It's also where they get to write the thank you letters to the donors. It's where they go through Phase 3 Leadership for Society, their panel session, and also it's when they get to do the talent show, and the talent show is awesome, as we all know. So, guys, first things first, we're going to wake, after the students have been woken up and they have breakfast, they're going to be loaded onto buses to go to their offsites. So, they are assigned a bus. It'll be on their name tag what bus they should be going on, and those buses correspond to which business site, which volunteer site they'll be going to. Guys, the first thing we're going to be doing is, once they're on the bus, make sure everybody is there. You're going to take roll, things like that, make sure everybody's on the bus that should be there. After that has been done, you're going to head to your business site. So, It's still early in the morning. Make sure as you're traveling to your business site on the bus that all the ambassadors stay awake. You can do energizers, Hobie chants, just talk to them, things like that about where you're going, what your day is going to be like. But we want them to be awake and alert for once they get to the business site. All right. Once they're at their business site, it'll be, I'm not sure if they're set in stone yet, but once you're at your business site, again, these businesses take time out of their busy schedules to teach the ambassadors important things like how to be a leader within a business, how you can bring your business to be a leader in the community, things like that. They give up a lot of time. Also, a lot of businesses feed the ambassadors for lunch, which is awesome. So you want to make sure that the ambassadors are paying attention, asking questions, being attentive, things like that when they're at the business site. All right. After the business site, we're gonna head to our volunteer site. So
Hey Hobie, so Mitch recorded a really awesome 6-minute video all about Saturday, and somewhere between his computer and mine, it just decided to stop working after the first 2 minutes. So I'm gonna fill in. So when Mitch left off, you were getting back on your bus after your volunteer site. I'm sorry, off after your business site onto your volunteer site. So again, just roll with the punches. Um, Help your bus captain in any way they need. If you're eating lunch on the bus or near the bus, help clean up with lunch. So you'll go to your volunteer site. It's really awesome. Most sites should have enough work for everyone to be working, but please make sure that the ambassadors have stuff to do first. Make sure that they're really busy, and then absolutely, if they all have things to do, dive in and help. Set a great example for your ambassadors of volunteerism. And then after that, we'll have sort of a debrief. The bus captains will lead the discussion to sort of help keep students attentive and on task, and you know excited about the great work that they just did. Then we'll travel back to Shippensburg, where there may or may not be a dorm dash. That might come later, depending on how everything's going. And as we file into the Cub, students will be doing their thank you letter writing, which is really important because we send letters to everyone who makes Hobie happen, which is so many people. So each ambassador should have 1 or 2 thank you letters to write. So please help the ambassadors with that. Read them over, make sure that they're spelled correctly, and the grammar's good. Give them tips, help them to get started if they need it. There will be, of course, like tips and tricks and commonly misspelled word sheets already on your table. Keep everybody quiet because as groups finish, there are still others who are still working. And then we have dinner with our group. We might do the dorm dash then. We shall see. And after that, we have another panel for Leadership for Society. And this is really exciting. It's, getting involved of how do you make a difference in your community. So just same thing in all the other panels, help your ambassadors write their questions for each panel member. You'll hear all about panels in another training. And then we have some energizers probably, and then the keynote speaker, who is pretty awesome. And that varies from year to year, but this year it's gonna be great. After that, we have the talent show, which is super awesome and so much fun. And the ambassadors love to show all of their amazing skills. And sometimes groups get together and do like a skit or a song. And we always have amazing dancers and amazing musicians, and it's just fantastic. After that, it's your last group time, which is a great time to, kind of finish bonding as a group and just love on each other and give out any gifts you may have. And then it's bed checks, and that's the end of your awesome Saturday. So now we're gonna go on to Sunday. Thanks, guys, and thanks, Mitch, for the awesome video that you didn't get to watch all of.
Hey guys, it's Michaela, and I am talking to you today about the schedule for Sunday, which is the last day of our seminar. So in the morning after breakfast, there are 3 options. Your ambassadors are each welcome to choose whichever they like, as are you. We have a Catholic Mass, a non-denominational Christian service, and energizers in the multipurpose room with the TA. And after those are over, we have our final panel of the seminar. So that is the service panel, And the four panelists talk about how they've been affecting change in their community through service. And it's really great because it's that final reinforcement for our ambassadors of kind of what the point of Hobie is, and kind of reinforcing for them that they should go out and like actively try and get involved in their communities, which is always really awesome. And after the panel is done speaking, we actually split the panelists into the four corners of the room so that the ambassadors can have kind of not individual time, but more one-on-one time than they've had with the other panels. So the ambassadors form four groups, and each group goes to a different panelist, and they kind of cycle around. The ambassadors can ask the panelists questions and learn more about how to get involved in their communities. And after that is over, we have our final group reflection. So the tables are all pushed back and the ambassadors congregate in the center of the room. And then all the staff sit around the outside of the ambassadors. And this is really a time for the ambassadors to reflect on the 4 days that they've spent at Hobie. They have a really good time. They get a mic, and ambassadors can raise their hands if they want, and they can kind of talk to the group about how they've changed over the course of the last 4 days, how their perspectives changed, maybe how Hobie's changed their life. And that's always really cool, especially when you get a shout out from one of your ambassadors for being such a huge part of their Hobie experience. And so after that's over, we have, a time for hugging and, emotions and things like that. And then we go to the final program, the closing program, which is in the auditorium. So we lead all of our ambassadors to the auditorium. You sit with your group, and we have our final presentation for the parents. Ambassadors speak about what's been going on over the last 4 days. We announce the students that have won the WLC scholarship, the World Leadership Congress scholarship, and the runner-up for that as well. We give staff awards for both team alumni and the rest of the Hobie staff. And then we do, of course, some cheers for the parents throughout this as well. And then after the program's over, you take your ambassadors outside, and they can meet up with their parents outside of the auditorium, and their parents can take them home. And that's kind of the end. So you say your goodbyes, and then the staff usually hangs around to help clean up, take care of Hobie HQ, take care of the multi-purpose room, make sure that we haven't left a big mess or anything like that. And then everyone's basically free to go. And that's the end of it. And it's really amazing, and it's a great day, and I'm looking forward to it.